Have you ever wanted to become immortal? There have been many attempts to create an elixir of eternal life, usually by ancient rich fucks, but more recently modern rich fucks have been taking a crack at it. No one has succeeded yet, until today. I present to you Mathematically Correct Swain, the Immortal Swain build. This will be optimizing Swain's ultimate for a good mix of healing and damage. I'll also show you several other builds that are mathematically correct, but are made for different purposes, just like all the previous failed attempts at elixirs of life, which were created specifically to give rich people mercury poisoning. I don't know what's going on with modern immortality though. Is this guy doing blood magic? Before we begin, consider buying a channel membership. For $1 a month, you get badges and custom emotes. You can also see me posting lower quality videos that don't go up to the main channel, which is mostly just memes and stuff, but it's there if you want it. A quick overview of Swain's abilities for those of you who've forgotten. His passive, Ravenous Flock, gives him soul fragments when enemy champions die, are hit by his W, or pulled by his E. Each stack gives him 15 bonus health, and when collecting a stack he heals for a % of his max health. His Q, Death's Hand, shoots lightning in a cone, dealing magic damage. Subsequent bolts hitting the same target deal reduced damage. His W, Vision of Empire, summons a demon eye that grants vision in an area then explodes, slowing and dealing magic damage. It has semi-global range, so you can hit it from quite far away. Enemy champions hit are revealed and grant Swain a soul fragment. His E, Never Move, is a line skill shot that returns to Swain after reaching max range, detonating on the first enemy hit, then dealing magic damage and rooting in a small radius. Swain can recast Never Move if it roots an enemy champion, pulling all champions hit and getting a soul fragment for each one. His ult, Demonic Ascension, empowers Swain to damage and drain nearby enemies, with a reduced heal for non-champions. After 2 seconds, Swain can cast Demon Flare, dealing magic damage and slowing in a circle around him. This can be recast every 8 seconds for the duration of the ult, which will persist until Swain isn't draining from an enemy champion, meaning this ult can theoretically last forever. This build focuses on the damage and healing from Swain's ult. Demonic Ascension deals damage every half second, up to 17.5 plus 2.5% AP at rank 3, and heals for 22.5 plus 2.5% AP plus 0.75% bonus HP. We want to find a balance between dealing damage and healing that feels good, so I won't just be using maths today. We want to find items that have stats that are useful to us, and narrow down which ones are best. After looking through all the items and using a Python script to test every possible combination, I've arrived at this build: Blackfire, Heartsteel, Riftmaker, Dawncore, and Spirit Visage, which gives us 27 damage and 62 healing per tick, before counting Heartsteel stacks. To find this, I told my script to maximize our healing and damage, and adjusted the results to optimize for playability. Blackfire is our first item for a few reasons. It has a Lost Chapter, so we don't run out of mana during lane, it has a burn, which synergizes with Swain's kit, and it amplifies your AP for every champion affected by the burn, increasing teamfight damage and healing. Heartsteel goes second, so we can start stacking early, which will increase our healing and, once we have Riftmaker, our AP. Riftmaker gives us AP, scaling with our bonus health, and gives stacking damage amp when finding enemy champions, up to 8%. When at max stacks, you also gain 6% Omnivamp, which works much better on groups of enemies than it used to. Our next item is Dawncore, which seems a bit out of left field, but let me explain myself. Dawncore gives a total of 18% heal and shield power, the highest of any item, as well as some AP and mana regen. The HS power has a massive effect on your survivability, much more than AP or health, since it affects the base heal. The last item is Spirit Visage, 25% increased healing. What more could you ask for? You'll probably need boots for this build, since it only works as long as people are in your ult, so you should buy Boots of Swiftness to catch up to anyone running away. Late game you can sell this for a Rylai's or Cosmic Drive, but these items are good for their utility and aren't mathematically correct, so they don't get to be part of the build. The Immortal Swain build is pretty nice, but there are some other builds we can try that are also mathematically correct, just for different metrics. For the first one, our target metric is healing per tick. To maximize this, I used my Python script to search for the perfect combination of items, and it turns out this is the build. I know it has barely any AP and it looks like it does no damage, and you're correct, but it does heal the most out of any build, at 75 healing per tick before Heartsteel stacks. This is because of how unbalanced the scaling on Swain ult is. We have 3 variables that the healing scales off: AP, health, and HS power. By comparing the ratios for AP and health, we can see that 3 AP gives the same healing as 10 health. It's much more cost effective to spend gold on health rather than AP, so a build that prioritizes health over AP will be better than the opposite. But this doesn't explain the support items. HS power acts as a multiplier not only to the AP and health ratios, but also to the base heal. This is the most important stat for increasing healing, which makes sense for a supportive stat. This build uses a combination of high health and HS power to heal as much as possible. Dawncore gets in despite being an AP item because of its passive, First Light, which grants bonus AP and HS power scaling with your bonus mana regen. Support items tend to have mana regen, which increases your HS power, making Dawncore a great source of the stat. I've tested this build out a few times, and I can safely conclude that it's shit. Don't play this one unless you're extremely fed. Our second experimental build focuses on percent max health healed, with our new metric being the old metric divided by max health. This balances out the effect of the overinflated health scaling, and results in a very different build that gives us 62 healing, or 2.33% max health, per tick. We have no health items except for Spirit Visage, which we have to take for the 25% healing amp. Dawncore is here too, as well as some other AP support items. This build prioritizes AP and HS power, since healing based on health isn't as effective. It feels a bit better to play, though it has a weak early game, and doesn't scale as well as builds with Heartsteel. The passives on Staff of Flowing Water and Ardent Censer are unfortunately wasted, since you don't have anything that can heal or shield allies, unless you take heal. Our third build I call Suck 'em Off Swain. This isn't actually a build, and you can't play it in a real game, it's just something that's theoretically possible. Demonic Ascension's damage per tick is less than its heal per tick. If we don't build any items with damaging effects like Leandri's, we can have 2 or more Swains ult each other and heal indefinitely. Demonic Ascension has no maximum duration, so this will last forever. But you will run out of Demon Flare casts eventually, because there's a hard cap of 100 casts per ult. I don't know why this is there, it's not like you're going to reach the cap in a real game. I also don't know how we found this out. Did someone sit in Practice Tool and cast Demon Flares until they ran out? Autism coded behavior. Anyway, this isn't for real games. Please do not try this, it's a stupid idea. There are a few different rune pages you can take for this build. The classic Swain rune is Airy, which works great with his persistent damage and lane perk. If you choose Sorcery as your primary tree, you can also take Axiom Arcanist for increased damage and healing, Scorch for lane perk, or Gathering Storm for late game domination. Conqueror is also a good choice, giving Adaptive Force and Omnivamp against champions. Good runes in the Precision tree include Presence of Mind, for the mana sustain, or Last Stand for the extra damage when low health. Resolve is a good secondary tree. Overgrowth gives lots of bonus health, Revitalize increases healing, and Conditioning increases your resistances. If you want to take Inspiration as your primary, Glacial Augment will work with some of these builds, since the slow scales with HS power. Other useful runes include Magical Footwear for the extra MS, Cashback to reach full build faster, and Approach Velocity to keep enemies in your ult. Personally, I like taking Airy with Resolve secondary, but I'm interested to see how effective Glacial Augment is, especially for support Swain. For shards, you can take Adaptive Force and double scaling health. Thanks to me, humanity has found the secret to immortality. We don't have to do weird blood magic or drink suspicious fluids, you just gotta cut off your arm and replace it with a demon. Try my build out in ranked. It's been working pretty well for me so far, and it's not that awful for regular play. Do not try out the experimental builds in ranked, I am not taking responsibility if it gets you banned. Maybe try it out in Brawl. If you want somewhere to goof around and try stupid builds, that's the place. Thanks for watching to the end. It took a bit longer for me to get this video out because I had a lot of assignments due. I did do a stream a few weeks ago ranking all the champions by how good a mathematically correct video about them would be. So if you have 6 hours to spare, go check that out. I'll try and get more videos out in more reasonable time frames. No promises though, I have a life outside of this. Anyway, if you liked the video, do all that YouTube stuff, like and subscribe and whatever. Also follow me on my socials, links to those in the description. I downloaded Twitter again, which is probably a mistake, but you can reach me there. Thanks again for watching. Like, I don't know. What about this item? Joe Biden's cum sock. You didn't think about that one. And like, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, my bad. I didn't think about Joe Biden's cum sock. My bad, guys. I forgot that it deals like 200 damage in an AoE every time like a female champion enters line of sight.